You're live. We are live. We are live. What's up? What's up? All right. We're live. Welcome. We are building. It's about setting aside that time to focus on something new, despite all the, quote unquote resistance in your life. Um, Last week was tumultuous at best to describe, exactly what happened. We had a little bit of a situation at one of the restaurants. We had to close down for emergency repairs and maintenance. That happened Monday night. Um, when we had to shut down, and then Tuesday repair, so that killed my Tuesday live stream, so I had to skip a week. And now the important thing, the main takeaway from all of this is you set aside a time, you set aside a date, you set aside, a little sliver of your life to dedicate towards something that you want to build and put out in the world. That's the key takeaway from basically everything. Is about showing up. Show up. You know. Um, so the original, I'm just gonna work and talk while I'm doing this shit. So if you don't see my face, it is what it is. But anyway, the original title for day 3 here is "Let's Lose All of Our Money, but Together." Let's do it together. And basically, what I was going to talk about on the live stream was something to the effect of, you know, there's a ton of money in the system. There's a ton of distortion in terms of like people's perception of reality and what the way they perceive themselves as well as the public perceives them. And at the end of the day, no one cares. Nobody cares. Nobody cares how fancy your office is. Nobody cares that you don't have filing cabinets and you use these plastic things to store your files. Nobody cares that your office has a receptionist, or that you have 10 different varieties of kombucha. No one gives a shit. So stop wasting money on that stupid stuff. Get back to reality. Get back to building. That's the key takeaway. So yeah, let's not lose all of our money together. Let's actually build something of value and put it out there. Um, so what am I doing? I've been screwing around with ChatGTP, Dolly, and I am not a technical founder by any stretch of the imagination. I have zero programming experience. I never went to college for any of this kind of stuff. So like, you know, a lot of this stuff is me learning how to use these tools. And the great thing about them is that you don't need any of that experience. So yesterday I spent the whole day tweaking our websites, and really, you know, making it not only both visually appealing to everybody, but also like, gives them the information that they're coming to the site for to begin with. And last night I was up, because my mind, it just goes 24/7. And last night I was sitting in bed and I was like, I just spent the whole day building out the site and making it, look relatively slick for somebody who has no experience in both graphic design and programming. Or at least I was very proud of myself. Uh, but I realized that it didn't contain the information that people were coming there for. It had a ton of fancy buzzwords, and it was meant to be something to, fluff up and, make my organization look as established and as important as it is, to both me and to my businesses and to yada yada yada. Um, but it had no, call to action. It had no, real like substance to the stuff that I was putting out there, other than just like fluffy, 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 delicious buzzwords. Um, and and who like what's the value, right? So what's the value there that someone who visits that site is going to get out? Is really what a part of my key takeaways. Obviously you want to like, capture a potential future customer, who's looking for a solution to the problem um, that they have, and hopefully you're, providing them the information to say like, hey, I solve this problem for you. Let's do a transaction. You have a need for this particular product or service. I happen to offer that product or service. Like, and let's exchange value, right? Because that's what it's all about, like exchanging value. Whether it be like, a technical expertise, an entertainment, whatever the hell the value proposition is. But that was the key takeaway. So I got a fair bit of work to still do on these sites. I have a fair bit of education that I need to accumulate to like really feel like I have a firm grasp on it. And a lot of the things that come up when you're first building things and when you're young and like you don't have experience, or even when you do have experience, you can suffer from imposter syndrome, or you can suffer from like the inflated chests and the situations where like you you almost want to present, you want to fake it till you make it kind of thing. And I've done this. Like I've made all those mistakes, you know what I mean? And when I was younger. Now I don't care how fake it is. I'm not fake at all. Like you will get zero of that from me now. Like I could literally care less what anyone thinks of me. Billionaires, millionaires, regular people, all sorts of walks of life, different colors, different sizes, shapes, everything. I do not care. Um, which is great, It's very liberating to not have to deal with that, because then it frees your mind up to do other more important things. So anyway, let's keep building. Build, 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 build. That was my little tirade. Um, So yeah, so Dolly's kind of interesting. Rather than spending $2,000, $2,500 on graphic design for someone to create something, that essentially to me is like a sketch that I could do, but just didn't know how to turn it into a digital format. This is this is an awesome tool that has so much disruptive capabilities to it. Um, so where am I at here? Let's see. Did I go? Did I get this? Yes, I did. Sick. Okay, let's edit this site now. Um, so yeah, these tools are awesome, and like for someone who's, analytically and mathematically driven, the opposite side of your brain really doesn't function as well. And that's your, at least for me, my writing capabilities and like my ability to get things down on paper is definitely a challenge. Stuff that I need to work on personally, um, and stuff that as I grew into as an adult, started to almost enjoy a little bit more. Add layout. Da. Let's see here. Should I add a layout? Do text here. Yeah. No, that's not what I wanted. Delete. Add layout. Featured. I don't know. Let's see. So expand this. Let's drag elements here. Awesome. I will drag an element there. Let's add one more thing. Should I edit the background? That's the next question. So yeah, let's build. Still tweaking away at these websites. Still trying to get the information that I want to convey to a potential customer across, right? Should I just make it all white? Should I break it up a little bit? Guess we add in a section, right? Structure. Does that add in a section? Yeah, it does. Okay. Sick. Text, title, image, slideshow. Let's go. Or I'm going to do another text element. This one's gray. That's kind of interesting. Let me move that up on this page. Move up. Sick. Okay. So then edit background. I'm going to display this new image I just created. Let's fucking go. It's all about experimentation, messing around, putting in the time. Okay, where's this thing? Click here to edit. I'm going to click save. Okay, save. Now I will stretch this out. Okay, got a whole text thing to edit. Edit background. Edit. This is going to allow me to drag and drop. Oh, so dope. It's so silly, but I'm like super proud of myself. It really is so silly, but this is what you got to do, you know? Setting aside time. Oh, fucking looks really good. Although, I just discovered while I was doing this, I realized I put the graphic on the wrong side. As you scroll down the page, I wanted to kind of have it, have a graphic on one side, text on one side, and then as you scroll down, that flip-flops, and then you have, text on the other side, graphic on the other side, so it kind of like bounces back and forth. I don't know what the actual science is behind it. I just feel like that makes sense, right? Like, do you want your eyes to just, like, where do you want your eyes to focus? Obviously you go straight to, the thing that pulls you in is probably the graphic, right? Because humans are so visual, right? And then, at least for me, I look at that initial thing and, I see the graphic and then I say, okay. And then I read the text and I go, okay, this is what we're looking for. So maybe, hopefully it keeps, I guess the thought process behind it is it keeps you engaged. It keeps your eyes bouncing, on the page to get the full scope. But let's see how this works. So yeah, it's such a sick graphic too. Damn, I almost have to readjust this whole thing now. Maybe I could leave that at the bottom. It could be kind of like a cool little footer thing. Let's see. So we'll just keep doing this. Let's add. I'm gonna add another section. It's gonna be another section. There we go. Now we got double sections here. One more section. Maybe that makes it complete. I can get the third in there. Okay, cool. So I did that. Let me create another graphic here. The one thing I have to say that does suck about or not suck. Um, the way that I'm going about doing this, like for one of my business, I have the Adobe suite, and it makes you, have the ability to like change file formats so much easier. But in this case, since I'm like intentionally bootstrapping things, I'm doing literally everything for free. Basically, the software that comes with a Mac, to build. Canva, I've been using for these live streams and stuff like that. Like, you know, that's obviously something that's free. I don't know at what point it's not going to become free. Maybe this is like a trial for all I know. Who the hell knows? But anyway, that's the point of bootstrapping. That's the point of, you know, getting an MVP, most valuable product out there into the world is like, or minimum viable product, right? Rather, it's about like just getting the bare minimum, but something, right? Something on paper, something that can convey to, the world, hey, this is a business. This is something that, you should look into. You should, you know, if you're in that market for something, this is a potential area that you can purchase something from. So let's keep plugging away here. So I'm using like it's so silly. So the format download from Dolly is PNG. And in order to get it to fit the website that I'm using, which is Weebly, that was the only one I was able to teach myself essentially, which Weebly was bought by Square. So I use Square for the restaurants and for a couple other businesses. So I'm relatively familiar with it. So I went with something that I was familiar with right off the bat. Um, that way it just cuts down that learning curve, that wasted energy of getting a product out there. Let's see here. So then I'm just basically juggling back and forth. Da, 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 da. This is so much fun. Love this. And then I'm switching it to Pages, which gets me to convert it to a PDF. Then I click the PDF, and then the preview on the wet Mac thing allows you to change it to a JPEG, and then a JPEG to the website. I don't know why I'm doing it, but it is what it is. So, okay, do I have to edit the mask? No, I don't think I have to edit the mask. This is pretty good. So I'll keep that. Okay. This is save. Moon. We're gonna make the moon. Desktop. It's a PDF for the moon. Save. Moon. Come on, guys. You know about moons. All about the moons, right? That's what you're shooting for. Okay, got myself a moon. All right, here we go. Okay, we're hitting the 18, almost 19-minute mark here. Like I said, let's lose all our money buying stupid shit, don't need to be fancy about it, just needs to get done, whatever it is. And, iterate on top of that, is the key, aspect to it. You can't obviously just put out a bunch of garbage and expect people to respond. Like this live feed is probably like garbage. Like I probably could spend a little more time to upgrade. Like I've been looking into downloading software so that way I can share screens. Because currently the way I'm set up right now, the laptop the laptop I have does the live stream. And then I work while I'm talking here on my other computer, which it doesn't have the live stream. But anyway, long story short, I was trying to look into getting like some kind of software or something that'll add more features, like the ability to screen share and literally show you kind of what I'm working on as I'm working on it. So that way it adds a little context. Um, Also, like visually, sometimes you can pick up during some of these live streams that I've seen, like you can pick up things that you can mimic, and that's the quickest way to get to an MVP too, is like, um, mimicking, like literally thefting a process to get to get to your end destination, to get to your goal, like so China does all day long. They're just ripping shit off. They got 10-star schmucks on every single corner in China. you know, and like that's the quickest way for you to get to catch up essentially. And that's the game. You want to get up to speed as quickly as possible, prove out a concept, prove out a situation, that will tell you like, oh, okay, this is how I'm going to make revenue. Like this is how I'm actually going to have a real business and not a hobby and not like just a bunch of words on my Twitter. Like it, because anybody can put CEO in their Twitter. We know this, right? Like this is not new, right? But it's a whole different other thing to have people buy a product, like hang a shingle out in the world to be like, we are open for business. This is what we do. This is our iteration, our 1.0 of something, and we're going to be 1.1 next week. We're going to be 1.2 the following week. We're going to be 1.3 the week after that, and ship product. Don't get hung up on perfecting something and holding back only to burn through all the cash that you have, or in this case you're not burning through cash, you're just burning through time, which is probably, I would argue, more valuable. So let's go. Okay, cool. I'm gonna add my background now. Bloop. Image, add image, and that's it. I'm gonna kind of leave it at that. I think we covered a bunch of stuff today. I feel pretty good about even just getting back into the saddle, getting back on the horse, right? Like after a huge setback, I think that's pretty important um, to recapture that ground, right? Um, to make sure that you don't lose the momentum, because that's as important. Ooh, there we go. That's as important as anything else, right? Is maintaining that momentum, maintaining that focus, making sure that you're continuously, pushing the project forward. And you know, you, it's just hard. It's just all resistance. It's all pressure down on you. And you need to be pushing up constantly. You need to be, focused and driving and, positively motivated and all those things, and that's one of the key takeaways also too for this live stream is, keep that positivity moving, man. Like keep it happy, keep it going, That's it. So I think we accomplished a lot today. I'm um, I'm happy to be back, and I hope to see you guys in future live streams. All right, talk to you soon. Peace.